And I'm back. Did you miss me? If you did, I'm glad. If you didn't, I'm sad, but not really. This is the Dick and Conversation podcast. I'm Elissa. If this is your first time joining me, welcome, welcome, welcome. If you've been rocking with me before today, then welcome back. If you're listening to me, you're probably listening to me on Amazon, iHeart, Pandora, Spotify, or you're looking at me on YouTube, or you're looking at me on Spotify because Spotify now has visuals. My social media contacts are Facebook, Dick and Conversation Podcast page. My YouTube is Dick and Conversation Podcast channel. Like, subscribe, share, download, all that good stuff. My Instagram is Dick and Convo underscore podcast. My email is dickandconvo@gmail.com. And my blue sky is dickandconvo.bsky.social. I'm also now on TikTok. I've been on TikTok all the time. It's just that I have now changed my TikTok name to Dick and Conversation Podcast. So if you're on the TikTok, you can find me on Dick and Conversation Podcast. So I've been gone for a while, even though you've seen me interviewing Coach J Mac. Hey, thank you, Coach J Mac. That was awesome. I appreciate you being willing to be interviewed and give some personal details, some professional history, and just talk about you and what you've been through and some of the things about collegiate sports that we had no idea. So I appreciate you being willing to jump in and reveal about yourself, talk about your wife's business, 10th and Walnut. Absolutely wonderful. Talk talk about layup clothing, Layop layup clothing. That was awesome. I did not know he was from Saginaw. That just blew my mind. So I appreciate you stepping in. And also, I appreciate Kevin Marshall from Marshall Media LLC, the Mediaverse, Marshall Mediaverse, Mr. and Mrs. Marshall podcast, DJ Kev, More Than a Coach podcast. I really appreciate you being willing to share about the building of your brand and also about coaching and retirement and things like that. I appreciate you also giving your opinion on coaching scandals. You may have been right about that one. It might have been a little inside job. So thank you very much. What you all don't know is I recorded both of those episodes at the end of 2025, and I just had them in the can, and thank God they were so willing to um be interviewed by me and talk with me, have a conversation with me during the holidays because holidays are busy and they have children, they have careers, they have lives. So I do appreciate them. Oh, I forgot Marshall Photography of being willing to step in and be interviewed by little old me. So here it is. It's February, and I haven't done a new podcast because life has been life-ing with me. My mom, who's my best friend, truly, truly my best friend, she had a bit of a health scare and it kind of just threw me for a loop. So I had to be a daughter and a best friend and step into the role as part-time caregiver because my mom is very, very, very independent. But she still needed a little assistance for a little while. So I had to go back to my hometown and live with my mom in the house I grew up in. But that house don't like me, and guess what? I don't like that house. Not that I don't like it, but it's been redecorated over the years, and it's not the house that I lived in 40, 50 years ago. So I had to step in. The thing about that is, w- we're at the age, I'm 52, I'll be 53. Um, in about 4 months. I'll be less than 4 months, about 3.5 months. And we're at the age now where our parents are getting older. Some of them are passing, some of them are having health challenges, and we're having to parent our parents. As Gen X, I'm discovering we Gen Xers, we're everybody's mom. We are still raising our children, some of us, and hell, probably all of us. Even if you have adult children, you're still in the process of raising your children, and maybe you got some grandkids. And I know a few of my classmates got some great grandkids. You all got some great grandkids, and now that our parents have reached the age where they need some of our assistance, we are having to parent our parents. Now, let me take a little sip of water before I say this. Parenting newborns, difficult. Parenting toddlers, difficult. parenting teenagers, challenging, challenging. But parenting your parent is something altogether different. Trying to have your parents do all the things they taught you to do as a child, like clean up and do this and don't listen to the doctor, don't do that, do what you're supposed to do. That's so hard. It is so hard to do. Trying to get my mom to just sit down, get somewhere, sit down somewhere. Don't move. It's difficult. And the reason why is because she's been busy her whole life. My mom raised 5 children along with my dad, and she worked all of her life. She worked just all the time, and when she didn't work, she was an athlete, and she just raised kids. And then she worked in early childhood education, where she retired from that after 30 years, and then she became a hospice senior. Then she retired from that, and then my mom became a door dasher during COVID and quarantine. Like, she is in her 70s, and she just like, I'm bored at home, so I can go pick up some food, drop it off. And then she's been door dashing since 2020. But having this little health scare, she had to sit down. So telling her, Ma, you have to sit down. Ma, get up and eat. Ma, you got to do this. You got to do that. And she's very independent. It's hard telling her, you got to do what the doctor said. Like, oh, yeah, they said that, but I'll be fine. That's what they doing. They told me that. But so trying to parent your parent is the biggest challenge I have found so far. Because here's the thing about parenting your parent. And Kevin Stay said this: you can't pop them on the butt like they used to pop us. My dad used to tell us all the time, "I blessed you. I skin you alive." Not that he ever did, obviously, but the threat is there. I can't tell my mama like she used to tell, "I'll beat your ass." Can't tell your mom that, because my mom would probably be like, "Well, square up." No, hers. You like, get if you feel you can, bring it. But you cannot make your parents do what's in their best interest. You just kind of have to do that, "Mom, please," the begging thing as a kid. And then, your parents are kind of be like, all right, because they don't want to hear your mouth anymore. But I'm discovering it's not just me. I'm discovering that a lot of us Gen Xers, we're all having to parent our parents because they're getting a little older and they're used to being independent and they're used to telling us what to do. But the tables have turned. We are wearing heavy crowns as Gen Xers. We really are. We everybody's mom. We the kids' mama, we the grandkids' mama, we the great grandkids' mama, we the mama's mama, we our daddy's mama. We are everybody's parent. Then we still are working. Thank God I had a job that was very understanding with my mom's health crisis, and I was allowed to work from the hospital waiting room and the hospital room, and from her living room and my living room, and sometimes in a restaurant. But that was a blessing in itself. So thank you. Um, I've been doing that. So that's what had me away. So thank God I had those 2 episodes in the can where I just scheduled them to be released, and they were released. And so I'm like, ooh, thank God. That's a good thing. Um, Valentine's Day passed a couple weeks ago. And if you're one that's big on Valentine's Day, I hope you had a good one. If you're not big on Valentine's Day, I still hope you had a good one. I know of someone who um they were speaking to me about the things that they were going through with their spouse. And I asked, well, did you do real big for the Valentine's Day? And they're like, not really. So they were saying that they were, just kind of just getting to know one another a little more, because you're constantly getting to know your spouse or who you're dating. It's never ending. It's a never ending journey. And they were saying how they thought that their partner's love language was acts of service, and they had been doing acts of service for the whole duration of their relationship, and they were washing cars and doing things like that, cleaning up, and they felt like their partner didn't appreciate it, or bringing gifts, doing things for them, and they felt like they weren't doing that, and they stopped doing it. They stopped doing the acts of service because they felt that their partner did not appreciate those acts of service, even though that's supposedly their love language. Well, in speaking with that person, when they were telling me about this situation, I said, you know what I've discovered? And I discovered that this week, that sometimes you have to allow a person to love you the way they know how, because they don't know any different. Your love language is acts of service. That's what you want. But they may not know how to serve you. They know how to buy you gifts. They know how to spend time. They know how to be if affectionate and touching and that way, and that's their love language. And even though it's not yours, you may have to sometimes allow them to love you how they know how, until they learn how to love you in your love language. And so I think I put it on my page saying about, sometimes you have to allow a person to love you the way they do. And if you listen to their love language, you will become, I tried to do a play on words, multilingual, like lingual. You'll understand their love language as well as yours. So I thought that was real, real, real cute. I also had someone tell me about what they received for Valentine's Day. They didn't get a gift or taken out or blah, blah, blah. So what they got was a bowl of spaghetti. I'm like, okay, bowl of spaghetti is nice. It's nice. It's a gift and an act of service. But how it was explained was, in looking at the bowl of spaghetti that the person cooked for them for Valentine's Day, they looked at it as they spent time and effort. They cut up the sausage and they cooked the sausage and they cooked the noodles and they did the sauce and seasoned it and packaged it and brought it. And how could you really put a price on that for Valentine's Day? Because that's a lot of effort. And I was like, that's all right. It's a lot that's some effort to put in there. So, I mean, I think a lot of people, they focus on Valentine's Day, like, oh, I want this and I want that. And they think it's supposed to look a certain way and they're supposed to get a certain gift or it's supposed to be a certain amount spent on it. And it's not necessarily so. I dated a guy and I used to talk about Valentine's Day. And Valentine's Day rolled around. He was like, I won't feel any differently on tomorrow than I do today. I won't care about you any less because this was coming up to Valentine's Day. He wasn't really big on it. He said, I won't care about you any more than I do today on tomorrow. And the day after that, I won't care about you any less than I do that day because of a designated holiday for Valentine's Day. So he didn't really celebrate it because he said that it didn't indicate how he really felt. And I was like, well, that's kind of deep. That's real deep. He didn't say it that eloquent. He was more like, I ain't gonna care about your ass no more tomorrow than I do today. And the day after that, I ain't gonna care about you no less. So what difference does it make? He was quite the poet. He was very much a pop out straight shooter. So I was like, that's true. That's a good point. So buying each other gifts wasn't even all that, big deal to him. He was a gift giver still, just randomly. Because I remember he bought me my first Alexa, and I was like, "Oh, how cute!" Which I still have somewhere around here in the kids' room, I think. But that was really dope. And it wasn't because it was Valentine's Day or birthday or Christmas or some other holiday. It was because that was a gift that he got me, and he wanted me to have it. And I always thought that that was really, really nice. That was just kind of a principle he lived by, and I did too. I always say I usually buy gifts or used to buy gifts because one, either it's something I know you want or would enjoy, or two, is something I want you to have, which I think is pretty good. Speaking of gifts, I've been gifting myself reading Sip and Chat Lounge. Hey Shay, I'm getting into the book. So Shay was my guest a couple months ago. She spoke about her podcast, Sip and Chat Lounge, and also about her book. And I ordered the book, and I just hadn't got a chance to get around to reading it. It's life been life, and I finally did. There's a part in here about this whole 50-50 what you bring it to the table and all that goodness, that Shay breaks down. Because I have been having that discussion with someone for a while about, you know, who does more in a relationship. Sometimes women have an expectation to bring 50-50 and pay half the bills and do half the work and things like that, when all honesty, we really don't do half the work. We do more than that. Shay breaks it down, detail it, that about the work and the home and homework and cook and clean and make love like a porn star and all these other things. And yes, men do have their responsibilities that they do. I'm protecting you. Somebody breaking into the house. Well, damn it, somebody ain't breaking into the house every day. So you don't have to do that every day. The kids' homework and a sick kid and cooking and cleaning and porn star behavior. That's almost depending on how you do this or how y'all get down. It's every day or at least a few times a week. So I'm into it. I'm going to have her back on once I finish the book. So once again, here it is, Sip and Chat Lounge, Shay Parker. You can purchase it on Amazon like I did. It's great. And I'm gonna bring her back once I get through with that. So that's something I've been doing late at night, when I get off my TikTok a little bit, like, okay, let me dive into the book and get it. And it's a easy read. It's like talking to Shay. You will read it in Shay's voice. So if you had the opportunity to watch the episode Sip and Chat Lounge with Shay Parker that I did a few months ago, and you hear how she talks, when you read the book, you will read it in her voice. So that's something I've been kind of getting into. And speaking of getting in the inbox, um, I don't know if it's just me. It ain't me. All women have this. Where you have these dudes that's just randomly jump into your inbox. Hey, friend, what you been up to? Hey, how you doing? Oh, I thought about you today. I was just thinking about you. Don't. I was going. I was going. You get ready to go out of town. I thought you would probably want to go too. Oh, don't. I subscribe to the point of when I'm done um eating off of a plate, I push that bad boy away. I'm done eating. I don't eat my own leftovers. Reason being, I know how I am as a partner. I know I'm proactive. I know I'm loving. I know I give my all. I give 100% of myself to try to make the partnership work. And by the time I walk, baby, it's done deal. I don't go back. So when you in my inbox, you gon' get out of my inbox. That's the name of this episode for this week. Out of my inbox. So, I mean, I'm not, like I always say, I'm sorry, my voice is going. I'm fighting a cold, really. I've been battling. Oh my God, it's getting worse. I've been battling a cold. Thankfully, it came on after I spent time with my mom. As you guys can tell, it's starting to go away. I thought I was doing good, and then here we go. Um, so I've been, I forgot what I was about to say. But anyway, I have people who will be like in my inbox saying, hey, how you been? And there's nothing wrong with that. I now remember what I was gonna say. I have often said I'm friends with absolutely everybody I've ever dated, married, been engaged to, jumped off with, whatever, friends, hook up, whatever we were at that time, and they can always call me. However, I don't eat my own leftovers. I just don't. They're nice guys. You go find the woman that's for you. And I appreciate the offer, but I ain't her. I'm not her. Go find her. She's out there. She'll love you. And here's the last thing, because this will not be a long episode. Here's the last thing. So I'm in town and I go to a local store where I go buy what we call taco bread. It's really tortillas, but if you from my hometown, we call them taco bread. I go to the store and I'm pulling up. There's a guy about to run across the street, and I pause, let him run across the street, and the guy runs. He goes into the store, and when I go into the store, me being me, trying to be funny, not flirty, but funny, I say, you know what? I should have made you run. And he was like, what you mean? I should have gunned it, hit on the gas and made you run. He laughed it off and joked, and you know. He made a joke about being a little tipsy, blah blah blah. And I thought that was kind of funny. So gets his purchase and he leaves the store. And I purchase what sorry. I get what I come to get and I leave the store and as I'm walking to get back in the truck, he says, hey, it makes my head turn. he said, he said, nah, I scared you. I said, no, you didn't scare me, but you got my attention. So he says, well, he comes over being friendly and he's saying, well, you know what? You live here? And I was like, no, I don't live here. I'm not even, I'm from here, but I don't live here. And so he says, well, take my number down. Now, I've had to tell people this. Always take the number because I see what is happening now in the world. We live in a culture. I don't know what has happened where men get mad because a woman don't want your number and they try to fight them and become physically aggressive or name calling, verbally abusive. What happened to just like, all right, you have a good day, babe, and all right, boo boo, or whatever you say, these men say. But he said take my number, so I took his number. And he says, he starts to give me his number. And I said, well, because he didn't look familiar and I don't know him and where I'm from. Everybody's 3 degrees of separation, even if you don't know them. Or you know somebody who knows somebody who knows somebody, or they look familiar. So I told him, I said, you look kind of young. And he says, well, no, I'll be 52 next month. So he's about my age. I said, you from here? And he says, no, I'm not from here. I work for consumers. So So he says, take my number. Now, when I take his number, because I don't want to get punched in the face just in case, it's the local area code. Red flag. So I said, this is a number for here. He was like, just take my number. I'm like, okay. So I take the number and he was like, okay, and then text me and then just tell me, this is the name of the store where we are. So thank God. I mean, he don't have my name. He ain't asked my name. He ain't asked if I'm with somebody. What happened to the Okay, side conversation. What happened to the days where men were gentlemen and say, are you married? Before they ask, take my number. Are you with somebody? Are you seeing somebody? Are you available? Do can I have your number? Like, what happened to, you know, etiquette of, I don't say hookup. I don't know what dating, and it's not dating. I don't know what the word is. What happened to etiquette of, are you with somebody? You married before you say, take my number? Or, can I have your number? Are you married? You seeing somebody? Oh, you available? Okay, can I get your number? That kind of stuff. No, or these days, QR code. Let me get your QR code. Scan, scan your QR code so I get your information. What happened to that? He didn't ask my name. He didn't ask if I was with somebody. Just take my number. And then text me the name of the store, not my name. So he knows who is me. It's me because this is the store where we met. So he wanted me to text that. I'm like, okay. So I text that. And then I'm like, red flag. Red flag. My takeaway from that is one, you had a local area code number. So that means even if you are from out of town, you got another number. And that number got the local area code. So why are you switching phones? Why you got a phone with a local area code? Two, you at the local store. You not like at the Walmart or at the Kroger or the, store, the big grocery store to buy what you purchase. You at the local joker, which means you know about the taco bread. So it's either somebody to put you up on the taco bread, and if somebody put you up on the taco bread, you got somebody. And three, you asking me to text you my name as the name of the store, meaning you can't put my name in your phone, which means your phone is being watched, which means, nah, bruh. But still took the number, did the text because you got to do all that, and then you just block them. So, as a safety measure, being a woman in this day and age, you have to, if they offer the number, take the number. Don't be like, I don't want your number. I don't, take the number, put it in. They say text, send the text, or give me a call so I can lock your number in, do the call, and then you block them as soon as you drive away. Because, uh, but he did say one line that was so cold. He said, am I going to get a chance to see you later before the day is over? And I said, probably not. I'm about to get on the highway and go back home. And he said, where you live? I said, I'm down in the Detroit area. He said, I was saying in the Detroit area. He said, you know what? It don't even matter. I'll come where you are. I was like, that's some gangster stuff there. That was a little all right. But nah, bro, because you already got red flags. You try to get up out of town because you already got somebody in town. I see through it. I can see through it. I keep saying to other people, I do this podcast because it's my little, passion project. Now, don't get me wrong. If, Dolly Sierra's Charlamagne the God, Netflix, somebody Black Effect Podcast Network want to put me on, I'm all for it because I think my podcast is for the aunties who are 40 and above, where we should have it together, but not yet. We still make bad decisions. And like I said, this podcast is to empower women and educate men. We still do dumb stuff. We still ride by houses. We still do a little, recon mission. I don't anymore because gas is too high. And these jokers got cameras outside their houses now. You can't do a ride by a house like you used to back in the old 2000s. These jokers put cameras outside the house. Now they see you riding by and be like, did you just ride by my house? Damn, I miss the good old days. I miss the good old days. You can ride by somebody's house and they not know. Oh my gosh. Can't do that stuff no more. They know. Can't play the police. I'll be watching you anymore. That song is done. Which is interesting because my daughter, God bless her heart, I was listening to that when I was dropping her off at work. And I said, this is the Stalkers National Anthem. And she said, what, Ma? I said, I'll be watching you by the police. Baby, that's the Stalkers National Anthem. That song is really kind of like stalkerish. So she started listening to the words. She liked it. She loves 80s music. But she was like, oh my God, Mom, have you ever stalked somebody? Like, look, girl, don't ask me my business. I'm gonna tell you about these things when you turn 21, or if you listen to the podcast, then obviously, but she doesn't. So, anyways, I just thought that the guy doing all of that was just red flag, red flag, red flag. And I've already did an episode on red flags and red lights. When you see them red flags and you see red lights, you just breeze on through them, keep doing what you're doing. And even though God trying to tell you, I've gotten older in my 30s and 40s, late 40s, even. I would have failed for all that and just been flattered and all that stuff. But now I'm older. I don't have time. When I see a red flag, sir, you're involved. And I'm too old for drama. And if you have to start deceptive, mm, I'm good. We good, Decepticon. You could transform right on back to whoever it is that told you about that local place. And then I start thinking, is that a thing that men do now? Is that they thing? Like, I'm not from here, I work for consumers. I work for construction. We here putting, I'm here just, putting the siding on the hall of the new building or, all that kind of stuff. I'll do HVAC and I'm doing HVAC at the new city hall or I had to do this at the jailhouse. Is that the new thing that men do to get women? Yes. Women, what we doing? We saying we traveling nurses. Like you wanna go, you live out of town and go out of town, like, oh, I ain't from here. I'm a traveling nurse. Give me your number. Cause I can't tell you how many times I've come across men and they be like, oh no, baby, I work for such and such. I work in construction. I work in HVAC and I'm not from here and I just travel out of town and I'm just here for a few months and it makes me wonder, like, are you really? Or is that just your new scam? Is that the new thing? I'm not from here. But anyways, that's what's been going on with me. And I'm still fighting this cold. I mean, I sound a little bit better, but that's that and a little every now and again I start sounding like Melvin and the Temptations. But I did want to make sure I hopped on and said, hey, how you doing? Show my face and give a little update on what it's been like parenting my parent and parenting my children. And, I understand Gen Xers. I get it. We are going through a lot. Heavy is the head that wears the crown. And right now we're crowning with everybody. We're taking care of everybody's, kids and grandkids and great grandkids and our parents and our friends and work. And it's a lot. It's hard being an Xer. I think that's probably the way we were designed when we could just leave on our bike and be gone for hours and just take care of ourselves and get back before the street lights turned on. We just kind of been independent and, you know, self preserving all the time. And now we really have to kick in and do it and take care of the whole world, seems like. But I just wanted to hop on for that and let you know you've been listening to the Dick and Conversation podcast. I'm Elissa. You've probably been listening to me on Amazon, iHeart, Pandora, Spotify, or watching me on the tube of you. You can always reach out to me on Facebook page, Dick and Conversation Facebook. You can also see me on YouTube channel, Dick and Conversation Podcast channel. Like, subscribe, share, download, all that good stuff. My socials are Dick and Conversation underscore podcast for Instagram. And also my email is dickandconvo@gmail.com. B Sky, my blue sky is dickandconvo.bsky.social. And I am on TikTok, Dick and Conversation Podcast. Once again, thank you for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Bye.